Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the new topic that is types of ecosystem. Ecosystem can be classified into many types based on the climate, soil type, altitude, etc. But only we are going to talk about the four major ecosystem in this lecture. The first one is the forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem. So each of these systems is unique and provides resources for human survival. These major ecosystems types are distributed in many parts of the world. Over a long period of time, ecosystem may go through a stage in a process known as succession, in which what is going to happen, grassland slowly evolves into the forest or desert ecosystem depending upon the climate changes. So depending upon the climate changes, one ecosystem may be converted to the another ecosystem. So first ecosystem we are going to talk now is the forest ecosystem. In this ecosystem, trees are the dominant community and they play a vital role in controlling the energy, water, and nutrient cycles in the ecosystem. In an undisturbed, old growth forest, the trees may be huge with relatively little undergrowth because they, the thick forest canopy blocks light. You can see here what we are discussing here. Relatively little undergrowth because of the canopy. You can see the dense forest. That due to the dense forest, what is going to happen? The light does not penetrate and falls on the ground, right? Because of the canopy. Hence, definitely the growth on the ground surface will be less. Consumers comprise a variety of insects, including butterflies, locusts, leafhoppers, beetles, ants, etc., and small to large grazing animals, rats, squirrels, rabbits, deer, reindeer, wild buffaloes, elephants are the major primary consumers or herbivores in the forest ecosystem. The frogs, lizards, foxes, birds are the secondary consumers. That means carnivorous. Snakes, wolves, wild dogs are the tertiary consumers. We have already discussed what do you mean by the primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Hawks, vultures, pythons, leopards, tigers, lions are the top consumers living in the forest. So under the forest ecosystem, we can see a wide variety of decomposers are also available, like fungi, bacteria, actinomycetes, that is anaerobic bacteria, are found in the forest ecosystem. Forests are normally characterized by the large presence of synthesizing, and nitrogen-fixing bacteria are also available in the soil. Rates of decomposition also vary from forest to forest, being very high in the case of tropical rainforest and low in temperate forest. So we can see tropical forests are found close to the equator that is in South India, while temperate forests are at higher latitudes. So tropical forests are warm and humid, receive higher amount of rainfall. We can see in our South India, temperate forests experience all seasons and found in cooler region. Now, the next ecosystem is the grassland ecosystem. Grassland ecosystem developed in many areas of India due to destruction of natural forests, partly due to the land clearing the agriculture and grazing purpose. So whenever we are going to clear or we are going for the deforestation, in that case, the grassland ecosystem may generate. According to the moisture present in the area, Indian grasslands may be categorized in three categories. Grassland found in semi-desert areas of North and West India. Grasslands or dry savannas. This also called as savannas word is there. Savannas means the the land covered with the grass but has few trees. This figure you can see, this is the savannas found in Uttar Pradesh, having moist climate. Grassland or wet savannas found in region of India with higher rainfall levels. So under the grassland ecosystem, grazing animals such as cattle, buffaloes, horses, sheep, and goat among pet animals, and rats, rabbit, deers among the wild animals are the major primary consumers of grassland communities. Among a variety of insect primary consumers also live in the grassland. Frogs, lizards, birds, foxes, jackals, birds, etc. are some of the secondary consumers found in the grassland ecosystem. The top consumers include snakes, wolves, wild dogs, hawks, this is also called as baz in Hindi, etc. So next ecosystem we can see, that is the desert ecosystem. Desert ecosystem constitute 1/5 of the Earth's land surface. These are defined by their extreme temperature and very low rainfall levels. Animals that adapt a desert ecosystem learn to manage water carefully or store it over a long periods. For example, cactus and others, succulent, any plant with thick fleshy tissues, adapted water storage. They store a lot of water so that they can handle infrequent rainfall. You can see this is the cactus in the desert area. Camels also store water in their hump. We can see the camel on the back of the camel. The hump is available. So camel store the water in the hump so that they can travel for a long distance without drinking. Reptiles, that is an animal that moves on its belly, such as a snake, or on a small short legs such as lizard, are cold-blooded, and therefore they benefit from the warmth of the desert sun. So we can see that the camels, reptiles, right, lizards are found in the desert area, and the cactus plants are also available in the desert area. So under the desert ecosystem, we can see deserts seem relatively empty of both plants and animals. Normally in desert area, we can see the plants and animals are also not available because of the number of creatures living in desert conditions limited by the harsh conditions. Cold areas with little rainfall can also be considered deserts. Cold deserts exist in Antarctica and Greenland. Herbivores range from insect to sheep, cattle, and camels feed on desert vegetations. Reptiles, vultures, and many varieties of birds are the main carnivores. 1/4 of the all global vertebrates having backbone species are found in the deserts. We can see our next ecosystem, that is the aquatic ecosystems, which include different kinds of water environment. Lakes, rivers, floodplains, marshes, ocean are all types of aquatic or water-based ecosystem. Aquatic ecosystem can contain a wide variety of life forms, including bacteria, fungi, and tiny organisms called plankton, as well as the fish and marine mammals, creatures. Ecosystem at the bottom of the deep ocean. Trenches are quite different from those in the ponds and streams, but both are considered as an aquatic ecosystem. So aquatic ecosystem can be classified into three major categories. First one is the freshwater ecosystem, transition aquatic ecosystem, marine or saltwater aquatic ecosystem. So all these three we shall discuss one by one in the next slide. The first one is the freshwater aquatic ecosystem. Under this aquatic system, we can learn about some terminology. What do you mean by the lentic system? This is also asked in your examination. Freshwater ecosystem covers only 0.8% of the Earth area. So one major type of freshwater ecosystem is standing water communities. So standing water communities is called a lentic system. Remember it. So this is the one of the diagram which has been shown as a standing water point, a standing water. We can see here, this is considered as a lentic system. Lentic system can be of any size, ranging from the temporary puddles, that means during rainfall, during rainy seasons, The water accumulated in a pits can also be considered as a lentic. To ponds and lakes, the organisms that live in a standing water or lentic community includes algae, rooted and floating lived plants, invertebrates such as worms and filter feeders, crustaceans and such as crab, in kekada it is called in Hindi, shrimp and crayfish, snails and mollusks, amphibians such as frogs, salamanders, reptiles such as turtles and water snakes. Many species of the fishes are found in the lentic system. So what do you mean by lentic system? We have seen now. Next, we can see under the freshwater ecosystem is the LOTIC system. The other main type of freshwater ecosystem, the LOTIC, which is nothing but is a moving waters communities. So a standing water community is called as LENTIC, whereas LOTIC comes under the moving water communities. This is the example diagram you can see. The water is moving. This we even the river we can consider it a looting system. So that's why it is written here. Looting system include all streams and all kinds of rivers. Looting system can run for thousands of miles through many types of conditions. The life forms in moving water or looting ecosystem vary a lot depending upon the strength of water flow and amount of light penetrating the water. On that basis, we can see the LOTIC. That means the LOTIC system depends upon the strength of water flow as well as the amount of light entering or penetrating the water. Next, we can see under the freshwater system, that is the transition or aquatic ecosystem. Transition communities are halfway between land and water. That means in transition phase, land and water both will be there. We can see this diagram. These include estuaries, river banks, marshes, and wetlands. What do you mean by estuaries? Where rivers join the sea, or the reaches of rivers where the fresh water from rivers reaches the ocean, blending with the seawater. The organisms live in the estuaries can tolerate varying level of salt in the water, right? Salt level may change with the tides. Because land and water both is there, that's why the varieties of the creatures varieties of living organisms can reside there. So this is the example of the storage. The diagram we can see for the storage. Now we can see the wetlands. Wetlands contain a rich diversity of species due to the abundant sunlight available to them. Wetland plants include water lilies, floating plants. In the diagram also we can see mangroves grow in coastal saline, tamarack, and sages, flowering plants. Many species of reptiles, amphibians, and shorebirds also reside in wetlands. So this comes under the transitional aquatic ecosystem. So normally in ecosystem, what we are going to see that what are the varieties of creatures living in this ecosystem, right? We can see here the third one is under the aquatic ecosystem is the marine or saltwater ecosystem. We know that oceans cover an estimated 71% of the Earth's surface. Life forms in the oceans are varied from small planktons and krill means belong to zooplankton group and food source of marine animals. To marine mammals such as gigantic whales and dolphins are found in the marine ecosystem. Deep ocean water has high pressure and only a little light energy. And so the few creatures that exist there are especially adapted to these conditions. Only few creatures will be available because of the less light penetrations or little light energy or the availability of high pressure in the water. Coral reefs are formed by the accumulation of calcium carbonate deposited by marine organisms such as corals and shellfish. We can see under the marine or saltwater ecosystem. Coral means, what do you mean by corals? Corals is the hard stone skeleton. Reefs mean rocky regions, right? The clear warm water in coral reefs supports a huge number of fish and other organisms. Coral reefs, you can see here, coral reefs exist only in 1% of the ocean, total ocean, but 34% of the ocean species live in the coral areas or coral reefs area. That is why reefs are considered one of the world biodiversity hotspot places where a large number of species are concentrated in small areas. So coral reefs is an underwater ecosystem. So we have seen what are the various types of ecosystem, and we have also discussed in details all the points pertaining to forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem with the diagram. Thank you.